this is such an interesting topic of like having a lot of hobbies, because I find people who have like a lot of hobbies more interesting for obvious reasons. Obviously why. And I'm a person who has a lot of hobbies. And there are categories of like hobbies, you know. There could be a person could have like a lot of hobbies actively, like a lot of activity hobbies, like playing golf or football, basketball, running, going to the gym, blah blah blah. It could be like creatively, it could be, you know, versatile in all of these categories, you know. And I feel like I'm a person who has a lot of creative hobbies, a lot of introverted hobbies, you might say. I don't even think, I mean, sure, there are like extroverted hobbies, you can call it. For example, I don't know, going to a book club, going to a club, going, you know, socializing and attending all these lectures and stuff like that. That is also, I think, is one of the hobbies. The hobbies I have is, I'm just looking over my room, just noticing, I like to read and create music, and I love to sing, play on piano and guitar, and to act and to read. Oh my god, did I say read? Write, read, paint. Anything and everything that I could create, I love doing. So I feel like in my case, it's more like creative category for me that I like. Oh my god, it's a lot of like, and my bangs are crazy, but let it go. Let it go, let it go. And because I have so many creative hobbies, I feel like I'm always behind in them, you know. I don't think I would call reading creative, because it's like, I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me, calling reading a creative thing, because it's just entertainment but on paper. Also I love watching movies and TV shows. So binging TV shows is actually going to be another episode, because that is such a rabbit hole. Once I start, I have to finish. Even like, I remember, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I remember I didn't go outside for like a week because I was binging Vampire Diaries. I remember walking outside and needed to pick up something, or like go to the store and buy something. And I'm like, oh, this world is not real. Like, what is going on? I was just walking around with this dizziness and with that, you know, that is crazy. But that is going to be another episode. Oh my God, I started talking about like binging TV shows and stuff like that. And now I want to talk about that more. But nevertheless, people who have a lot of hobbies are more interesting because they have a lot of hobbies, right? Because, well, they have more interests and stuff like that. I remember when I was talking or like was friends with people who had no hobbies, I was so confused and frustrated, and I could understand how is that possible, you know? How could you not be like have any hobbies? Also, I was guilty of that when I was younger. When I talked to people and was friends with people who had no hobbies, I would, you know, they would call me up and they would be like, oh, I'm bored. Do you have any plans? Do you have any, you know? And I'm a person who always finds what to do. You know, give me 100 hours in a day, it wouldn't still be enough for me to complete all the tasks I have for a day. I want to complete in a day. So I was always busy. And they would be like, oh, I'm bored. And I remember at that time I read a quote that only boring people are bored. And I told that to that person. I told that to a lot of people. And now I just come to realize, as I was kind of making the topic for this video, I'm realizing that actually being bored is what creates that creativity in my sense. Like, we are always running after entertainment and we are afraid of being bored. We think it's you know, it's something, I don't even know what we think it is. In my case, I just think like, why should I eat in silence if I can watch a YouTube video or a TV show? Or why should I wash my dishes in silence if I can turn the podcast on or music on? It kind of went to the lengths of us not being able to I don't think, not necessarily the not being able to part, but not wanting to be alone with our thoughts, and like the silence is so uncomfortable, so just trying to fill it, you know. But being bored is such a privilege, honestly. Just laying down and looking at the ceiling. I'm sorry. I just always start to film these things at like 10 p.m. And like looking at the ceiling, staring, or eating your meal in silence with no distractions, with no phone, with no TikTok, you know. That's when the best ideas come. So I think if you have a lot of hobbies, you also have to find time to be bored, because it's so overstimulating doing all these things. For example, if you have 5 different hobbies, managing it all is the other thing. Managing it all, I feel like, I mean, sure, you can put it in ChatGPT and be like, oh, can you please manage for me these 5 hobbies, how I can make it, and so on and so forth, which is a great feature. It's a great feature, because what do you mean I don't have to sit around and look at my schedule and like do all these things? I can just put something in ChatGPT and answer his questions and be like, oh, thank you. I always say thank you. Thank you, at least I try, and like, thank you, please, could you, you know, but sometimes I feel like screaming, because I'm like, write it like a human. I don't know, but I say thank you because I'm afraid that when robots will take over, they would check the system and like, oh, she said thank you only 30% of time. It's not good. Just diminish. I feel like I'm an interesting person just because I have a lot of hobbies. And I feel that with everyone, with every person who has a lot of hobbies, because you can talk about different things. You know, I could talk about books or movies. I don't know why I take myself as an example, you know, because it feels so selfish to do that, to take myself as an example. But for example, I don't even know who to take. There was such a brilliant idea in my mind to just list of characters that I like, and pinpoint that, you know, I like them because they have a lot of hobbies. They're interesting to me because they have a lot of hobbies and stuff like that. But I understood that my favorite characters are from Gilmore Girls, Rory, and the only thing she does is studying and journalism. But also, no, she does a lot of things for school, mainly extracurricular activities. Oh, I hate that word. Extracurricular. Let's skip this part. Let's forget that habit. She volunteers. She does all that work. She does reading and have friends, and there's all these things, you know. But I don't know, when I think of her that way, I don't find her that interesting, you know. I relate to her. She's very comfort character, and that's when I realized that I cannot come up with characters, because comfort characters and interesting characters are 2 different things. But I feel like we automatically like people who have more hobbies because they so versatile. No, not like a versatile, like, I don't know, a t-shirt. They're so colorful. Again, not like a t-shirt. And they so interesting to talk to, you know. They're like, oh, I like this, and I painted a picture, and I wrote a song, and I ran a marathon, and I ran I did that, and they're like, wow. Because I feel like experiences and creating something especially makes us so interesting, you know. I don't know why why my voice just kind of like I was asking a question, like, interesting, you know. But creating something and having a lot of hobbies is great. But also, there is such a thing as regret, and I feel it constantly when I realize that I don't have time. I mean, I have time, it's just not my priority for these things. And I realize that I haven't painted or drawn in a month, or that I haven't spent the time I want to on my guitar or like on my piano and stuff like that. And I feel this regret constantly because I want to achieve greatness. I feel like in every hobby of mine, in every creative hobby of mine, not like greatness. I have one thing in which I want to achieve like greatness, and other things I just want to be great at, greatish at. And I feel so behind because I'm trying to focus on all these things and be good at all these things. I don't know. For example, I don't know. Film a movie, write a song, write a melody, write melody to a song, write lyrics to a song, learn how to play the piano and the guitar, or like, I don't know, paint a picture for the museum, or write a book and stuff like that, And when you try to do all these things all at once, also I love crocheting. I tried to crochet case for my laptop. That didn't go well because I do not know how to do like waves. I just sit there and like I know how to do next line and how to, I just have a blue square that is like a little roundish, because I don't even know why it's a little roundish. It's somewhere deep down. I crocheted like 6 months ago, so that, yeah, I feel like the negative part, the cons of having a lot of hobbies, is that you really have to try and work on that to focus your energy on the thing that really does matter. Because I don't know if it relates to any of your experiences, but I have a hobby that had been my hobby and I want to make my job, and I just love it so much since I was a child. And then along with that, since I'm like growing and adulting and stuff like that, I gained new hobbies. And because that hobby of mine that I had since I was like 8 is like old to me, it's there's no novelty in that. I'm like, I know how it works. I've done that a million times. I mean, there is some sort of novelty still, but not as much novelty as in playing the guitar or the piano or doing that and that. And I'm just giving all my energy and focus to playing the new instrument or writing a song because I feel like it. I don't know, there's so many things and questions I have from the conversation I have with you. I don't think I'm equipped of giving answers to them, because I feel like all these questions and all these things are really personal. And if you want to, go ahead and spend that few days or a few weeks writing that song because you feel like it, and forget about that thing that you have to focus on. But also, on the other hand, it's so easy, like perhaps like in a relationship, when something gets old, you like moving on to something new, but you can only build something successful if you're gonna stick to one thing, So I feel like it's perspective. It's really about perspective and things like that. But I found myself in the situation participating in the hobby, in the thing I had, like hobby I had since I was like 8 or 6. I don't remember. Like probably when I was in the first grade. What was that? 6. Now I'm just like, okay, but I never was interested in music, so let's try music. Or like I never was interested in writing poems or stuff like that, So let's try that. And oh, my battery is at 3%, Okay, I don't feel like it should be longer because it's really a bad idea for me to start recording them so late. So maybe sometime later I'll have something to add to this, but for now it's everything. And I should really write outlines for these kind of videos, but this was like spontaneous. So have a good night, day, whatever type of the day or whatever. Okay, I'm feeling cringe because of myself. I love you, and I hope you have an amazing day, and we'll talk later, right? We'll talk. So bye. Hug, and never forget hug. I mean, I forgot a lot of times, but like, bye.